Hi, we are the filmmakers of the documentary that you are about to see.
This is our first movie, and it took us a lot of work, time and dedication to finish it.
I'm Haitian, and as a Haitian, I've always wanted to show an image of Haiti that, unlike the mass media coverage, would not only focus on violence.
We really hope you enjoy the movie, and we're looking forward to hear your thoughts about it.
Yeah.
There are men who struggle for a day, and they are good. There are others who struggle for a year, and they are better. But there are those who struggle all their lives, and these are the indispensable ones. Bertolt Brecht.
Haiti is the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere.
Millions lived in slums.
It's a place of rebellion, confusion, and grinding poverty.
They can barely afford to eat.
Kidnapping is now the only growth industry. It's the kidnap capital of the world.
9,000 peacekeeping troops in Haiti.
The deadly earthquake in Haiti continues now.
A horrible earthquake which has struck here. Humanitarian relief efforts are underway.
The smell you can't escape. It's not really even a smell, it's so strong you can taste it. Today I tasted death.
Haiti's cholera crisis could hit 200,000 infections in the next 3 months.
The situation in Haiti can only get worse.
This is the image people have of the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. There are also people who confuse it with Haiti. They think of palm trees, beaches, and holidays in the sun. But different images come to my head when I think of Haiti. I remember a trip in an extreme country. It was February 2008. I remember a voodoo priest and a ceremony. I remember a poor girl on her way to school and a woman with a big dream. I remember a country without trees, but with brave people. I remember a boat ride with a coast guard, hunting for cocaine. A breakdown in a dangerous place, and a UN convoy. But let's start from the beginning. It all began here, in Freiburg, a small, sunny university town in southern Germany, with a beautiful old town, lots of bikes, beautiful churches, a river and unspoiled nature all around. To be more specific, it all started in Handel Street. This is where I met Fabian. By the way, this is me. My name is Florian, and I'm the son of a Haitian mother and a German father. At the age of 18, I moved from Haiti to Germany to study. After 4 years of intense and hard studying, there was this one evening in the kitchen when I got the idea to take a trip with Fabian to show him my country. We took a photo and a video camera with us. This is the story of our trip. My cousin André picked us up when we arrived in Haiti. On the back of a pickup truck, we headed to Cap-Haitien. It is Haiti's second largest city and is situated in the northern coast of the country. We spent the night alone in a house on the outskirts of the city. At night, as usual, there was no electricity, and we could hear the voodoo drums from outside. I was back home. I spent the first day with my family, and Fabian tried his first Prestige, the best beer you can get in Haiti. Though I must admit, it is also the only one. The woman wearing the blue cap is my Aunt Claudette. A few years ago, she founded a school in Cap-Haitien, the École Notre-Dame de la Médaille Miraculeuse. It is not an ordinary school, and she explained to us why.
I want the poorest possible, and to give them, to make them rich with the education. The poor children, they need so many things. food, money to go to school, education, even affection.
The children who come here live in the poorest part of the city, a slum called Shada. Some of these children are so poor that they do not have enough to eat. We became aware of a girl named Denise. Her shoes were way too big, and she appeared somewhat apathetic and sad. The next morning, we drove to her apartment. This is where Denise and most of the other children from Claudette's school live. Our presence in the slum was noticed immediately. When a child saw us, she screamed, "They are soldiers! They want to kill us!" We were two white guys with a camera. We stood out. It didn't take long until we were surrounded by a small crowd and a man talked to us in English.
No one of you all talk English? It's a problem. M'bagay comme à toucher m'bagay, ou bagay gouvernement bagay douane, bagay welfare en Haïti. Nous besoin de travail, nous besoin de l'hôpital, l'homme malade de aller prendre soin. Et puis l'école pour bâtir mon éducation même la mourir, mais demain si Dieu veut, il y a tout le monde pour être ça que veut apprendre. Nous bagay ça, l'école sont de l'argent, qui soit fait pour payer ça.
Shada made a depressing impression on us. There was garbage lying around everywhere, and there were no sanitary facilities. 4,000 people live here, and almost half of them are children. In hopes of a better life, more and more families move into the cities and gather in such slums. We had to go through very narrow streets until we arrived at Denise's house. The houses are so close to each other that you can barely see the sky. Like every morning, Denise was dressed up for school outside of her house. Denise has two sisters. All three have different fathers, but none of them supports the family. Since last year, they all go to Claudette's school because they don't have to pay school fees there.
L'école trop important. Pour me daguer petit monde me battre ka conduire l'école même que me battre ka conduire m'a vraiment des charité pour me conduire l'école.
Dans des années dernières petit monde pas à l'école. Ça t'est arrivé.
À cause de quoi pas de devoir avec ni bagaille pied et puis pour livre tout pas te gain comme même yo pas aller même.
Pauvreté de tous côtés, moi les têtes me sac passé, nation l'union liberté, effectif fait me créer, réalité fait me l'embrouiller, chaque chante fait des yap tirés, ça me soumet les marques marcher, pas parce qu'il me voulait mais parce qu'il me sentit qu'il m'est obligé, famille faite pour respecter, vision poussée n'inspirer, pour mes jours nous respirer, tomber sur les freins qui bim.
This American school bus is the only functioning school bus in the city. It was donated to the school. Every morning it picks up the children of Shada and brings them to school.
Bon Dieu aide-moi en pile parce que je crois si bon Dieu pas t'aider si me gen trois petits moun ça yo pour payer pour mettre l'école et pour ba manger chaque jour et besoin bagay pied Bon Dieu fait pour un pile. Aïe, c'est le bon Dieu. On a non Jésus. Parce que si je ne crois pas, mon Dieu, je ne crois pas décalé.
Haiti is one of the few countries in the world in which the school system is almost completely privatized. Since the state has barely invested in education, this gap was filled by all types of private schools. Who does not have money does not get education. But in Claudette's school, things work a bit differently. Although the parents are asked to pay a small school fee, anyone who cannot pay may still send their children to school. Therefore, the school depends on donations. They have to improvise again and again because money is often short. The classes are very large, often more than 60 children per class. But they are being taught in the language of the elite, French.
Nous sommes à 92% de créolophones, près de 8 à 10% de bilingues qui parlent créole et français.
The children speak French in Shada. This is amazing.
Il y a beaucoup d'enfants qui font maintenant de l'anglais leur langue, je dirais première, pour ne pas dire leur langue de prestige. Cela veut dire ce que les Français ne comprennent pas. Si dans les 15 prochaines ou les 20 prochaines années, ils n'investissent pas pour une reprise en main du français, mais je vous dis que cette République d'Haïti, c'est l'anglais qui va devenir la langue de prestige.
You will need to find a replacement nominee.
What are you crazy? Toutes nos chaînes sont en anglais. C'est difficile de trouver une chaîne en français. Le TV5 Monde, ça ne fait pas la différence face à CNN, ABC, CBS. Ça ne fait pas la différence. Compte tenu de cette présence, cette invasion massive culturelle américaine. Sur la côte, les côtes frontalières, il y a une montée extraordinaire de l'espagnol. Michel Saint-Germain a chiffré ceci en l'an 2000 à 10% d'Haïtiens parlant espagnol.
Del cual se desprende su primer sencillo, Por Ti, Baby.
Each day during class, lunch is prepared. The food is donated from WFP, the World Food Programme. For many children, this is the only meal of the day.
There is no change in the food, you see? And we don't have enough money to change the menu. It's rice and beans every day.
With the meal in their stomachs, the children changed. Denise also got her plate of rice. Suddenly, they were full of energy. The kids were so excited we could hardly continue filming.
Qui ça t'a aimé vin pita, le grand, qui rêve?
M'a fait travail.
C'est ça t'a aimé fait?
Oui.
Ou t'as aimé les petites?
Oui.
Combien?
Un seul.
En seul?
Oui.
Pour qui ça en seul?
Ma case va quitter.
offered to the children a school of joy. You see, a school of joy. We are fighting, we are working to achieve the goal, but it's so far.
One confident dandelion, still much, but I swear I'm trying. 3 weeks and I can see the future. 4 black and white photo booth pictures. 5 days that I'm
A few days later, we got ready to leave. We loaded some drinking water into the pickup and said goodbye to my family. My father had used his contacts and had managed to arrange an interview for us with the German ambassador in Port-au-Prince, the capital. The streets were completely worn out and my cousin André had to drive at a snail's pace. It took us an eternity until we arrived in the capital.
Port-au-Prince, moi remè ou. C'est nan pied ou, pou m'passe toute vie moi. Pou m'chante toute chanson. S'ko ancien que yo nouveau. Même si la vie a traîné bien.
When we arrived in Port-au-Prince, the largest and whitest palace in the Caribbean was still standing. We never could have imagined that it would be lying in ruins 2 years later. I was born in this city and happy to be back. From the mountains, Port-au-Prince looks quiet and peaceful, but the reality on the street is different.
La police n'a qu'à la vague, image me danser. Pour un jour de foule, on voit qui j'ai tout pour la vibrer. Car pour la zone, c'est pour ta marabelle et qui soit. On va la ville, elle va mettre au ville. Tout pour la plaie, pour ne qu'à vous faire. Pas bête chose, mais qu'à nous en l'air. Après, on va la difficile. Regrette encore, sous les mépitas. Femme et mon sous qui clame. Femme et méou, femme et méou.
The day of the interview with the German ambassador had come. We showed up pretty underdressed at the embassy, which was a bit embarrassing. But we hadn't exactly expected to meet an ambassador on a trip.
Herr Botschafter, wieso hat sich Haiti nach seiner frühen Unabhängigkeit zu einem armen Land entwickelt?
Natürlich, am Anfang stand natürlich ein bisschen das Motto des Generals Jean-Jacques Dessalines, Coup prétexte brûlez caille, also auf Deutsch, schlagt die Köpfe ab und zündet die Häuser an. Das ist natürlich als Startschuss für einen unabhängigen Staat ein bisschen problematisch und irgendwie wirkt das ein bisschen nach.
Okay, to understand what the ambassador just said, it is useful to know something about the history of Haiti. Here's a quick summary. Well, Haiti and the Dominican Republic are located on the Caribbean island called Hispaniola. Long before the white men arrived, the native Taino lived on the island. They were very peaceful people. In the year 1492, Columbus crossed the Atlantic with 3 ships and discovered the New World. With swords and cross, he changed the destiny of the people forever. The Spaniards enslaved the Tainos and brought smallpox, cholera, avarice, and arrogance along with them. It was not until almost all the Tainos were dead when the Spanish priest Bartolomé de las Casas started a campaign for the rights of the indigenous people. Rather than using the Tainos, he suggested importing slaves from Africa instead. Spain bathed in the gold of the island. This attracted French pirates, who also settled on the island. The French government wanted to have their share of the pie, and the pirates were declared French colonials. From now on, there were 2 colonial powers, France and Spain. The transatlantic triangular trade arose between Europe, Africa, and the New World. Weapons and alcohol for Africa, slaves for the American plantations, cotton, coffee, sugar, and tobacco for Europe. For the Europeans, it was a golden age. They sweetened their lives with the new luxury commodities from slave labor. In Haiti, a single settler had an average of 10 slaves. 1/3 of the slaves died a few years after their arrival. But this was not a big problem for the plantation owners. They simply picked up new ones as a replacement for the dead. And to make sure that the slaves were well behaved, they were beaten, mutilated, castrated, crucified, boiled alive in sugar syrup, and raped. This is when a new religion emerged, which united the slaves from different regions of Africa, the voodoo cult. Through the French Revolution, the wind of liberty, equality, and fraternity blew in France, and it blew over to the Caribbean. A few years later, the time had come. During a secret ceremony, the voodoo priest Duty Bookman called for a slave rebellion. He himself was killed, but the revolution was unstoppable. 3 former slaves, Louverture, Dessalines, and Christophe, led the uprising. The revolution was not only about ending slavery, but also about independence from France. The first black republic of the world was born. Dessalines ordered for all whites to be tortured and killed. France did not readily recognize Haiti's independence and demanded high compensation for the loss of its plantations. To avert a renewed French attack, Haiti accepted the claims 40 years after the revolution. Now they had to pay off with money what they had already paid for with their blood. The payment of the compensation lasted until after the end of the Second World War, and it damaged Haiti's economy up until to this day. But the freedom did not mean peace. After the independence, the blacks and the mulattoes fought for power. Until the 20th century, one coup followed another. During the First World War, Haiti went through a second round of imperialism. Now it was America's turn. Under the pretense of wanting to stop the ongoing violence, they wrote a new constitution and improved the infrastructure. However, they only managed to achieve this through forced labor, torture, and murder. After the US withdrawal from Haiti, an Haitian despot followed. In 1957, the physician Papa Doc became president. Papa Doc murdered his political opponents using his personal militia, the Tonton Macoute. Over 30 years, they imposed terror on the Haitian people. 30,000 people were killed under his leadership. Haiti was looted and the country's academics fled abroad. After his death, his 19-year-old son, Baby Doc, took over the power. When Baby Doc was overthrown in 1986, he took hundreds of millions of dollars with him into exile. Now one Haitian president replaced the next. Coups were back on the agenda again. In 1990, the first truly democratic election in the country took place. The priest of the poor, Jean-Bertrand Aristide, was elected president. However, a few months later, the military instigated a coup and the struggle for power continued. The UN and the US imposed a 2-year trade embargo, which damaged the already fragile economy of Haiti even further. Social and political unrest followed. In order to stabilize the country, the Haitian government called for peacekeeping troops in 2004. As a result, Haiti indeed became more quiet. However, development and state building did not take place. The interview with the ambassador went quite well. At the end, he gave us a novel about Haiti. One consequence of Haiti's history is the abject poverty of the country. But hold it, don't let yourself be fooled. There are rich people living in Haiti as well. I myself was part of this social class when I lived there. But only now I realize how huge the gap between rich and poor is, and how close these two groups live together. There is virtually no middle class. Eventually, we got hungry for chips and cookies. I knew that it would not be a problem to buy some, since you can find about anything in Port-au-Prince. André took us to a supermarket which was guarded by a man with a shotgun. The food here was even significantly more expensive than in Germany. So expensive that another guard inside the store protected the goods. Almost everything you could find here came from abroad. There was hardly any Haitian products.
L'essentiel des ressources des devises haïtiennes viennent de l'exportation de membres, qui est un produit qui ne demande pas beaucoup de bras. L'essentiel des devises vient des transferts qui sont faits par les Haïtiens de la diaspora vers leurs familles ici. Donc c'est une économie complètement détruite avec pratiquement plus de 75% des gens qui sont au chômage. Donc c'est ça qui est la réalité économique aujourd'hui.
Was würde Deutschland denn gerne importieren aus Haiti?
Rum. Rum wäre zum Beispiel etwas, da weiß ich, da gab es auch schon Interesse dran. Rum Barboncourt ist ja wirklich ein hervorragendes Produkt. Das sage ich jetzt nicht, um da irgendwelche Schleichwerbung zu machen, aber das ist ja auch der einzige ernstzunehmende Rumprodukt, das es in Haiti gibt. Alle anderen sind so Manufakturen. Es gab Interesse daran, aber das ist daran gescheitert, dass die Produktion nicht groß genug ist. Auch Kaffee. Haiti hat einen wunderbaren Kaffee und vor 20 Jahren war leider die Produktion noch viel größer, als sie heute ist.
At the end, we found the cookies that we wanted. The package costed the equivalent of $5. We hesitated to buy them. After all, they were really expensive. We understood that this shop was only for the capital's elite. We did not stay in Port-au-Prince longer than necessary. I wanted to visit my grandmother in Petit Goave. Before dawn the next day, we left Port-au-Prince, heading south.
Je ne te vois pas, tout le monde dit que t'es là. Moi je ne les crois pas, tout le monde dit que t'es là. Je ne sais pas si j'ai d'espoir en toi, si je peux croire en toi. Tout le monde dit que t'es là, moi je ne te vois pas. Tout le monde dit que t'es là, moi je ne les crois
My grandmother was very happy about our visit. She was early widowed and had to raise her 9 children on her own. My grandmother was the first woman in Petit Goave who drove a car and was wearing jeans. It was so long since we had seen each other, but she still knew what my favorite meal was: Creole chicken with rice and beans. In the afternoon, Fabian and I went to the market to shop some groceries. The place was a bit different from the supermarket in Port-au-Prince. But even here, mostly imported goods were sold. We noticed that there was only American rice available. Why was there no Haitian rice? The former US President Bill Clinton had an answer to this question.
Since 1981, the United States has followed a policy until the last year or so we started rethinking it, that we rich countries that produce a lot of food should sell it to poor countries and relieve them of the burden of producing their own food. So thank goodness they can leap directly into the industrial era. It has not worked. It's maybe been good for some of my farmers in Arkansas, but it has not worked. It was a mistake. It was a mistake that I was a party to. I am not pointing the finger at anybody. I did that. I have to live every day with the consequences of the lost capacity to produce a rice crop in Haiti to feed those people because of what I did. Nobody else. We genuinely thought we were helping Haiti, and we made this devil's bargain on rice, and it wasn't the right thing to do. We should have continued to work to help them be self-sufficient in agriculture, and that's a lot of what we're doing now.
Haiti was thus forced by the US to abolish taxes on American products. Then they flooded Haiti with cheap subsidized rice. The Haitian farmers could not compete against that and went bankrupt.
Game over.
On the market in Petit Goave, we also found the notorious mud cookies. In the beginning, the saleswoman did not want us to film her. She was somehow embarrassed.
Beurre, mit sel, nous préparer.
OK.
Ou li bon pour passer dans visage.
OK.
The reason for this was that a couple of months before, these mud cookies made it to the headlines in the world press. It was reported everywhere that the Haitians were so poor that they eat dirt out of desperation. Eating earth is actually nothing new and is done in many cultures, mainly by women with calcium deficiency. But at that time in Haiti, food prices were so high that people started to eat the cookies to stop their hunger.
Haïti avant était un pays exportateur. Aujourd'hui, c'est un pays surtout importateur. Et la population souffre aujourd'hui de ce qu'on appelle la vie chère. La vie chère, c'est quoi? C'est la hausse des prix. En France, on a le même problème. Aujourd'hui, le débat, c'est la vie chère. Donc, ce n'est pas un problème haïtiano-haïtien, mais c'est un problème qui est difficilement vécu ici parce que vous avez 80% de la population qui vit avec moins de $2 par jour.
Cloax a coupé nous. Cloax a coupé nous.
Ça Cloax l'avait dit.
Grand goût, misère. Peuple a pour grand goût.
Cloax là c'est un proverbe, une misère noire qui gagne dans le pays d'Haïti actuellement là.
Pas d'emploi, tout le monde en chômage.
C'est cher, on ne peut pas acheter rien.
Quand on tue le monde, nous toutes les chita sous comptable seulement pour voir petit grain de diriti ba nous c'est pas vrai on paye indépendance pas ouais pas ça signifie pour nous.
Ça est la fin du monde. Pour moi c'est la fin.
Pour gagner l'espoir.
Bon si le gouvernement veut gagner l'espoir, il y a des possibilités. Chaque jour qu'on pour y fort, on joue qu'à une solution. Bon Dieu qu'a aidé de façon.
Est-ce que vous pouvez gagner l'espoir?
Oui. Depuis que vie l'espoir.
Est-ce que vous pouvez que gagner l'espoir pour Haïti?
Je ne peux pas désirer ça. Je ne peux pas connaître ça. Je ne peux pas connaître. Même je ne peux pas connaître. Donc oui. Moi, c'est servant à bon Dieu vivant. Attendez? Les gens qui ne sont pas droite, ça met au droite. Si vous crochez, ça dresse. Attendez?
In 2008, food prices drastically increased on the world market. Since the people of Haiti spent most of their money on food, higher prices do not mean that the people pay more. This rather means that they eat less. But one thing seemed to us paradoxical. Almost everybody has a cell phone. Also, this is the only product advertised for in Haiti. Digicel and voilà.
Digicel.
Voilà bien.
Voilà. Voilà.
Digicel.
Despite the poverty, the telecommunication business seemed to boom. Cell phones in Haiti are very cheap and you can get them anywhere. Poor people have the same needs as everyone else, and they too want to participate in the technological progress.
Un pays va marcher sans communication. Dans le 20e siècle, ça n'a vu là, un pays gagne 200 ans, quoi. C'est ça, même tout Haïtien a un téléphone même pour communiquer avec une famille à travers tout partout.
Fabian noticed that the Haitians have a huge national pride. Simply because the Haitian slave did not receive their freedom as a gift from the whites. They alone fought for it against Napoleon. With this, Haiti became the first black republic in the world. It is very depressing for the Haitians that their country is still so poor despite its impressive history. For those who do not possess a cell phone yet, there are mobile living phone cells. But you have to accept that they can hear everything you say. If you want to know about the secrets of this city, you just have to talk to one of those guys. It was pre-carnival season in Petit Goave. Every evening the Rara musician played on the streets. The mood was damn contagious and people had fun. As we wanted to join the group, it started raining really heavily. We had to seek shelter because of the camera. But the people did not seem to mind the rain. The party went on. The next morning, Petit Goave was as calm as usual. No traces were left from the lavish party of the previous evening. It was Sunday and the people went to church. Our time here had come to an end and we set off to Hinche. My grandmother was sad that we were leaving, but we had to go. We had a long trip ahead of us. The journey was very pleasant in the beginning. Paved roads, blue sky, everything was fine. But that didn't last long. The landscape now looked completely different. Somehow it looked like Mordor from Lord of the Rings. André drove really fast until the car broke down. Now we had to stop here, of all places. We saw a cross on the side of the road. It looked like a grave. Suddenly, a UN convoy drove past us. They realized that we were white and asked us if we needed a ride. We said no. We could not leave the car alone out there. Too bad, we could have established contact with the MINUSTA soldiers. We tried to repair the front axis of the car, but without success. Slowly it began to get dark. Many people think that it is nice to live on an island where the sun shines every day. But the sun is not of much help when you have problems. We didn't manage to get the car fixed, so we had to move on with the broken axis on the mountainous roads till Hinche. Staying outside would have been too dangerous. In Hinche we met an old friend of mine, Guillemard. Guillemard showed us some communities close to Hinche. Actually, this is the typical Haiti. 3/4 of the people live in the countryside and practice subsistence agriculture. This means they produce just enough to feed themselves. The people here were poor too, but the poverty looked more bearable and not so inhuman.
If you shall never show yourself, you will still be here.
Since I'm light-skinned, people always mistook me for an American. That really got me worked up. After all, I was traveling my own country.
Oh, pas américain. Pas vraiment allemand. Bon haïtien. C'est pas différent.
Guillemard is an agronomist and runs a small tree nursery in the region. Haiti has a huge deforestation problem, and therefore those tree nurseries are urgently needed. He told us how hard it is to get something growing here. In the night before, a few pigs had entered the nursery and had caused a lot of damage to the seedlings.
Paysans n'ont pas de moyens, ils n'ont pas de crédit agricole, ils n'ont pas d'outils, ils n'ont pas de motoculteurs, ils n'ont pas de tracteurs pour labourer, c'est ça qui fait que donc c'est forcé à que beaucoup de moyens pas. Ils font culture soignant, ils font culture carotte.
We realized that Guillemard was really passionate about his profession. He talked and talked. It was impossible to stop him. He even went as far as fetching a farmer's cows to show us how the soil is worked properly. During our stay in the countryside, he took us into a cave. It was pitch dark, which is not perceptible from these pictures we made using a flash. We had no pocket lamp, so we had to burn small pieces of wood in order to see something. Suddenly, a naked man appeared in front of us. He was collecting something. The cave was now full of smoke, so we had to go up again. The man followed us. Outside, we saw that it was actually not entirely naked. The man was a farmer who gathered bat guano deep down in the cave to use it as fertilizer. He was lucky that he lived near the cave, since most farmers in Haiti cannot afford fertilizers for their fields.
Agriculture haïtien a pratiqué une agriculture sous régime pluvial. Ça veut dire la pluie tombée, c'est la pluie qui tombe, yo pas un système d'irrigation. Surtout l'agriculture qui a fait dans le monde. Il y a des périodes dans l'année, il y a trop la pluie, moun perd culture. Il y a trop soleil, yo perd culture. Laisse moun rentrer directement dans le charbon. Couper pied bois, faire charbon parce que faut qu'ils joignent de quoi vivre.
Wir haben ja heute nur noch weniger als 2% des Landes von waldähnlicher Vegetation bedeckt. Das war früher einmal ganz anders. Und da es hier sehr starke Niederschläge gibt und immer wieder Hurricanes und auch Erdbeben, wird das von Jahr zu Jahr leider schlechter.
Le futur n'existe pas encore. Il y a tellement de choses qui se passent à chaque instant, à chaque minute, à tout moment. Regarde autour de toi, oui le présent est là et tu souris, il est là pour toi. Et la vie continue le long de ce chemin qui t'a pris par la main.
Eh bien, je fais charbon pour m'arriver pour me faire 5 copes. Pour me faire un petit argent. Qui si comme ça me gagne, c'est problème cyclone qui vient l'autre jour, de l'eau, la pile la pluie tombée. N'après banane, n'après mayoc, n'après canne, tout le bagaille périnette. Allez voir de l'eau à Hinche, qu'on y a mes secs tombés. Et là, c'est faut que c'est du charbon pour nous faire. C'est lui qui parle. Les bagailles pieds bon comme à Brésil, ouais. M'a m'arrêté pour mourir.
On arrive dans une situation où on finit couper tout bois, on fait charbon, côté que qu'on a ces racines bois, paysans après récolter, fouiller racines bois, en battre pour faire charbon avec racines bois.
Ouais tout ça, il pas guetter là, il péter un tout, oxygène entré pour qu'il permette pour aller arriver carboniser puis bon charbon.
The situation in Haiti is a vicious circle. The lack of trees in this mountainous country leads to massive erosion. As a result, many farmers lose their crops and are forced to chop down more trees in order to make at least some money. Every day in Hinche there is a big market. Farmers from all over the area bring their products here. And of course, this includes the fresh charcoal. Every day charcoal is purchased here. Gas is too expensive and electricity too rare. One journalist called it Haiti's curse. However, it is a primary energy source of the country. Even bakeries and dry cleaners use charcoal.
Nous pas jamais voir, ça va faire la pause électricité.
C'est pour ça qu'on ne va pas utiliser.
Non, machine à laver, c'est chaud, qui va me
ouais.
Electricity is rare in Hinche. The streets are usually dark at night. But not everywhere. One street was always brightly lit. A UN office is situated here. They can afford their own diesel generators.
De quelle à quelle heure vous venez étudier ici?
De 6 à 8 heures. On va me de 3 heures à 5 heures.
3 heures jusqu'à 5 heures?
Matin. 5 heures, oui.
Vous venez étudier à 3 heures du matin jusqu'à 5 heures du matin?
Oui.
Fabian and I wanted to see the base from the inside. We simply marched through the gates. The guards did not stop us. Since we were white, they assumed that we were authorized to do so. We were warmly welcomed by an Italian expat and got visit passes from him. Unfortunately, he did not want to be filmed. He was downright euphoric to meet Europeans, since he felt abandoned and isolated in Hinche. Back at home, a surprise waited for us. Gilma and his colleague cher ami had organized a farewell party for us.
Ça tape bizarre pour nous, pour nous y aller, sans avoir fait nos parents un dîner ou bien un souper.
There was food, drinks, and people were dancing. And we even got some gifts. The next day we drove back to Cap-Haitien. The streets were full of trucks carrying charcoal from the countryside to the city.
On the road again, like a band of gypsies, we go down the highway. We're the best of friends, insisting that the world keep turning our way and our way. On the road again, just can't wait to get on the road again. A life I love is making music with my friends, and I can't wait to get on the road again.
When we arrived in Cap, we got in touch with a UN mission in the city. The Italian guy in Hinche had given us a few names and phone numbers. This opened some doors for us now.
Les pays qui ont dit « oui, nous voulons bien aider Haïti », ce sont surtout des pays d'Amérique du Sud. Et je ne crois pas qu'on puisse dire que le Brésil, que le Venezuela, que le Guatemala, que le Pérou soient des pays hégémoniques. Je ne crois pas qu'on puisse dire ça. Donc c'est vraiment une aide sud-sud, une coopération sud-sud qui s'est faite avec le pays voisin, avec le pays frère d'Haïti.
The Chilean Marines took us on a patrol. In Cap, everybody thought that we were accredited journalists. Of course, we never denied that. We were really lucky that the UN was having communication problems. A highly ranked officer high-handedly gave us the right to film. He wanted to go home, and at that point, he couldn't reach anybody in the headquarters who could verify our story.
¿Cómo está en Haití?
Bien, comemos bien, dormimos bien, trabajamos bien.
Bueno, es una experiencia nueva, sobre todo ayudar a la gente acá en Haití. Una bonita experiencia.
¿Cómo está el día? ¿Cómo le digo?
Comment jouer jeudi? Comment rentrer aí?
Jouer à pas beau même. Sortir à pas beau, rentrer à pas beau.
The goal of the UN mission was to stabilize the country and make it safer, so that democratic elections could be held. Many people were happy that the soldiers were there.
Le travail ministre, moi, est vraiment bon.
Ça a offert dans le pays.
Ça offert bonne sécurité.
But not everyone shared this opinion.
On a une insécurité liée à la criminalité, donc qui demande qu'il y ait une institution publique qui soit capable de gérer les questions de sécurité. Ce n'est pas du tout une situation de guerre où il y a des armées belligérantes qui s'affrontent. Et les missions des Nations Unies, elles sont faites dans cet esprit-là dans les autres pays et ça ne correspond pas du tout à la situation haïtienne.
Haïti est malheureusement dans la région un pays de transit, notamment de la drogue. Et donc ça, c'est un risque de déstabilisation aussi si personne ne met de limite. Donc pour la sécurité de la région, il fallait qu'Haïti retrouve des autorités légitimes. C'est pour ça que la mission des Nations Unies a été envoyée aussi pour aider en matière d'élection.
Bah rien fait. C'est ça même les Nations Unies là. Que tu n'es gros de documents, capé côté gros armes, pas de guerre, pas gagner.
The soldiers patrol through Cap every day. We walked through the slum of Shaddai again. 2 Marines were assigned to protect us.
How I do them day. How I do them day. Otherwise, Mr. Dance on set. How I do them day. On a beautiful I started with it. How I do them day. Mighty stone away, you know.
Todo tranquilo aquí, la población coopera harto con nosotros. Con la ONU nos respetan harto y nosotros los respetamos a ellos.
Hasta el momento es súper bien. La acogida de la gente le ha gustado, lo saluda, le gusta eso.
Nous ne sommes pas fait un bon pays, non? Rien, même. C'est violer petit monde. Fait tout ça que mal.
Pour qui ça est aux touristes?
Parce que c'est un touriste, il a vivre. Vivre tout nous, c'est dans la plage, ouais, yo. Bon, bah, qu'on est même. Tout ça que pas bon, yo fait.
We are military forces, but of course there's civilians working in the UN that the people don't see. Okay, there are some politicians that make decisions, so we execute what they do, what they order.
L'autre semaine, nous allons commencer à mettre ça dehors, nous allons donner tout les blanc, mais nous sommes ou même comme blanc ciblé.
Ça a gagné contre blanc.
Nous-mêmes, nous pas faire un bon même dans le pays d'Haïti, venir piller pays et puis pour aller.
The people here is happy to have us. I mean, our daily contact with the people, they are happy to see the soldiers because they feel safe.
Quand les Nations Unies interviennent quelque part, c'est parce qu'on leur demande d'intervenir. Donc Haïti a demandé aux Nations Unies d'envoyer une mission.
They always ask for more, but it's very difficult to do it in such a short period of time.
We took some souvenir pictures with the Chilean Marines before they drove us to the police station in Cap-Haitien. 2 UN police officers were waiting for us there.
Nous avons aussi un mandat pour rendre les effectifs de la police plus conséquents. C'est-à-dire que les UNPOL, les policiers internationaux de la mission, une partie d'entre eux travaillent à l'académie de police pour la formation.
These men here are UDMOS, a highly trained special unit of the Haitian police. They are responsible for the security of the North Department. This unit is feared by the Haitians because they're not squeamish at work.
Nous avons aujourd'hui en Haïti près de 8000 policiers haïtiens, alors que selon les experts, il en faudrait un minimum de 14 000 et l'idéal serait d'en avoir 20 000.
The UDMOS demonstrated for us how things work in a checkpoint. But we were more interested to see how the cooperation between the Haitian police and the UN advisors was working.
Les gens pensaient que nous venions comme ça pour des patrouilles spontanées et qu'après que nous partions, mais il a fallu expliquer que nous sommes les conseillers du directeur régional. Nous sommes les conseillers du directeur régional, donc nous venons pour les aider. Donc nous sommes là avec eux, nous les suivons partout. Donc il n'y a pas eu de difficulté en tant que tel. Il a fallu 2 ou 3 jours pour qu'ils s'habituent à notre présence, mais tout se passe bien. Voilà. Voilà, il va parler, voilà le DDN, le directeur. Oui.
Moi-même, c'est Joanny Caneus, je suis directeur départemental police Nord. Là. Capable de dire nous avons une très bonne collaboration entre la police nationale Branche Nord et la ministère.
There was a very relaxed atmosphere between the UN and UDMO cops. Both groups seemed to be happy with each other. The Udmos in Cap-Haitien have fewer than 20 men in their unit. They have only one car, but are responsible for the security of the whole north of Haiti.
Haiti hat eine sehr, sehr lange Seegrenze, hat viele Inseln, die sind sehr schwer zu überwachen.
A few days later, we had an appointment with the Coast Guard. It is said that Haiti is a danger to the security of the region, because drugs are smuggled from here to the United States. A Canadian UN police had proposed to us to go with him on a cocaine hunt. The Coast Guard suspected that an illegal freighter was smuggling cocaine, and they wanted to search it. The cargo ship, however, had cast off early in the morning, so we went out searching for it. Unfortunately, we could not find the freighter. The Coast Guard had only a small boat that was also not the fastest. The Canadian told us that he would not step on such a boat back home. Way too risky. The cocaine hunt turned into a sightseeing tour. We went to the only tourist attraction in the country, a beach called La Badie. Big cruise ships come here. Often tourists aren't even told that they are in Haiti. The local workers are simply called Labadians. The beach is cordoned off and heavily guarded. Haitians cannot swim here, even if they were willing to pay. However, the Haitian states get $6 million rent per year. We returned from a little boat excursion with empty hands. No cocaine and no jet skiing on La Badie. Our time in Haiti was coming to an end now, but before departing, we wanted to learn more about the voodoo religion. Claudette arranged a meeting for us with a voodoo follower, Fanfan.
Vaudou c'est une religion, tel que toute religion, mais c'est une religion qui naît de la souffrance et la misère. C'est une religion monothéiste, mais c'est une religion tout, à côté de Dieu, elle croit dans être suprême, mais elle croit dans le petit Dieu intermédiaire, liberté côté grand-mère là.
Fanfan took us to a voodoo priest nearby who allowed us to film his temple.
Ougan, c'est un médecin, c'est un guérisseur. Il remplit le rôle, ça dit les femmes sages là, il va accoucher. C'est un conseiller. Ougan, c'est un chanteur, c'est un poète, c'est un musicien. Il fait tout le bagage.
Est-ce que papa ou maman étaient Ougan tout?
Non, c'est grand-papa qui était Ougan. Il est mort sous 115 ans. J'étais fait 75 petites. Il René toute petite la parlé. Il dit monsieur, je dis je vais mourir. Il va me la mettre comme ça. Il crache dans même 21 fois et puis il mourit dans même. Depuis là ça. Moi venu dans l'autre monde. Là il est potomita. C'est lui qui recevoir tout ça, tout bagaille qui est bon, qui est mauvais. Qui est brassard représenté que là pour pas pêcher à l'air, pour ça imposer mauvais esprit rentrer la caille. Quand on représente ton cloche, quelqu'un soit à côté esprit il y a la fini. Ça c'est quand même une maladie. Et c'est ça pour cause mon traité. Si vous ne mettez pas couche en belle cabane, maladie a dit que vous content ouais ou une belle cabane, mais pour mettre couche ça c'est que tout maltraité il va prêter.
The biggest hospital in the city, l'Hôpital Justinien, is only a few kilometers away.
Plus forte population à vivre en campagne. D'accord? Tout médecin ont été concentrés dans grande ville. Donc ça signifie que il y a un pile monde qui va jamais médecin dans vie. Donc monde ça est obligé à prendre remèdes traditionnels, faire alcaougan, Le lac Ougan, il fait fausse route parce que tardivement, ils viennent joindre nous et généralement, ils presque mourir.
Vous traitez à qui ça?
Bon Dieu montre ça pour faire et avec ça, esprit a montré que me traiter.
Faut payer un bail.
Ou pas gagner pas payer. Est-ce que l'oreille qui docteur pas payer? M'a bon la vie. Faut payer parce que la vie son bail qui coûte cher. On fait mon payer.
C'est seulement 20 gouttes de payer un dossier, donc c'est pas cher du tout. Et cependant, les médicaments, ils ont tendance à venir cher. Parce que jusqu'à présent, l'État n'a pas de même mise sur le prix des médicaments. Tout le bagage manque pratiquement, pas de l'argent. Il y a assez de médecins dans l'hôpital pour demander, mais pas assez de matériel pour répondre à la demande.
L'hôpital Justinien, c'est un petit hôpital d'à peu près 200-250 lits qui a été construit pour une population de 40 000 personnes. Actuellement, nous avoisinons le demi-million.
Le plus gros problème qui gagne actuellement, c'est SIDA. C'est le plus gros problème qui gagne. Presque 80% des monde qui est hospitalisé dans la médecine interne en haut, c'est le monde qui gagne SIDA. Donc, on comprend que c'est seulement 20% de place qui est pour toute l'autre maladie. Donc, je pense que c'est un problème de santé publique inquiétant.
Many rich countries help Haiti. Posters of the aid industry can be seen everywhere. But what goes unnoticed to the world is the Cuban help. Since 1998, an invisible army of Cuban doctors works in Haiti. They are quiet and efficient. They train Haitian physicians and work in the most remote regions in the country, places where you cannot find any other doctors. Castro said once, "The others are sending soldiers. We are sending doctors."
Leider sind viele Haitianer nicht bereit, in die Provinz zu gehen, weil man eben zu Recht oder zu Unrecht meint, alles wichtige Leben spiele sich in Port-au-Prince ab und in der Provinz sei man auf verlorenem Posten. Das führt dazu, dass sie zum Beispiel in den Provinzstädten kein medizinisches Personal finden, außer eben diesen kubanischen Ärzten, die eben für die medizinische Grundversorgung vieler Städte Haitis unverzichtbar sind und dort einen guten Job tun.
It was impossible for us to get an interview with the Cubans. They were all afraid to speak in front of the camera, because if they say something wrong, that may have unpleasant consequences in Cuba. Each Cuban sent us to his next superiors. In the end, we went to the Cuban embassy. But even there, we were told that the green light had to come directly from Havana. But it never came. This is the only footage that we are able to get from the doctors.
Ça qu'on est là, c'est pour un monde jusqu'à New York. Laissez à quitter, ma pour aller Bali. Et qui marche. Alors si on pas quoi là, donc pas quoi, mais des pour quoi, c'est pour marcher.
Est-ce que vous pratiquez l'autre religion que pour religion vaudois?
Non.
Seul lui-même.
Seul.
Pas catholique.
Oui, je suis catholique. C'est catholique qui fait partie vaudois. Chaque photo, ça a un esprit derrière. Ça a les dentons. Ça a les fouedas. Ici, les bois.
In Haiti, religions plays a major role. A majority of Haitians practice voodoo, but at the same time, they are also Catholics. For the voodoo follower, this is not a contradiction. However, not all Catholics believe in voodoo. But one thing is certain, whether voodoo, Catholics or Protestants, it doesn't matter. In Haiti, the temples and churches are always full.
C'est un pays qui a un pile belle bagaille qui a fait là-dedans. Courage au peuple qui dans mis tant de difficultés, qui dans mis tant de problèmes, à chercher vie. Après nous reconnaître ça qui est positif dans le pays pour nous capables de protéger, pour nous capables de développer.
One morning, we took part in a Protestant church service near our house. These churches are strict enemies of the voodoo religion. And with the support of the US, they expand very rapidly in Haiti. They are very conservative and sometimes intolerant.
Alléluia, c'est votre Dieu qui t'a fait dessus. Ou pas de câlin à terre. Vous n'avez pas de main pour lever. Vous n'avez pas de bouche pour chanter ma terre. Regardez-le. Caressez-le, maillez-le.
I was not allowed to participate in the service and had to stay behind. The pastor had forbidden me to come closer because of my nose piercing. For him, I was probably a hopeless punk who was certain to burn in hell later. Alleluia.
Que la paix et la grâce de Dieu vous accompagnent tous.
On our last evening before our departure, we got really lucky. Fafan got in touch with us and asked if we would like to come along to a voodoo ceremony. I had lived in this country for 18 years, but I had never participated in the ceremony, as they are often held in secrecy. We were pleasantly surprised since we had expected something else. At the beginning, the ceremony looked like a party to us. People were drumming, singing, dancing, smoking and drinking. There was a happy atmosphere, and we enjoyed it a lot. But quickly, the fun became expensive. The musician approached us and asked for money. We wanted to stay, so we paid. A few hours later, the voodoo priestess came in. A mighty spirit had taken possession of her body now. This spirit is a Loa of agriculture. And to feel more comfortable, the Loa was now changing his outfit and was dressed as a farmer. The voodoo spirits can take over the body of the believers. In this way, one can directly speak to the spirits and ask for advice and help. This woman here was not very happy about our presence. She was a Haitian who lived in New York and had paid for the ceremony. We had to ignore her glares. The ceremony went on now. Vegetables were offered to the spirits. The behavior of the priestess, her facial expressions and gestures were completely different than before. She controlled the room and the people. The voodoo priestess or the Loa eventually approached us too and asked for money. We paid. We got kind of a blessing on the end. To this day, I don't know exactly what it meant. The woman from New York was then placed into the center of the temple and leaned against a pillar. This pillar is a link to the world of the spirits. The ceremony was even more intense now. A man came to us and told us that we have to pay $1,000 to be allowed to continue filming. We did not have the money, so we left the ceremony. We had to wait outside for André to pick us up. This was our last night in Haiti. The next day we drove to the airport in the Dominican Republic. Our road trip was over.
love, to help people, to promote life, to change the situation of the poverty in this country. We need money, but before, at the same time, we need love. Haiti needs love.